Start the session. Let others join in. Inform others to join. In this class, we are going to discuss about an important topic that is very essential for you. We are going to see the practicals. We are going to discuss the theory. After that, we are going to discuss the practicals of that topic, that is principal component analysis. Okay, so principal component analysis is very important, and it is a very famous um, technique in machine learning. It takes vital role in dimensionality reduction. So we are going to discuss how we are dealing dimensionality reduction using this. Okay, so let me open the PPT. Okay, so before getting into this principal component analysis practicals, I would like to give an input to you. I would like to give an introduction to you on principal component analysis and its mathematical part and its theory part. It is very essential for you to. It is very essential for you before getting to the practicals. Okay, so consider a problem. I'm simply asking this: what are all the factors for a movie become hit? I'm asking this question to you: what are all the factors for a movie become hit? I'm asking the list of factors. If you think about the list of factors for the movie become hit is, you can say, story, then popularity of actors, and the release date, and the marketing technique or marketing strategy which they're using, and the director, screenplay, cinematography, VFX, playtime, how much time it is playing, and the supporting actors' performance, then music director, sound engineer, likewise, n number of features you can take. But the thing here is how many features we can take. How many features we can take? That is the question. If we take too much of features, what will happen in the sense? You can tell me if we take more number of features, the quality will increase. But if you take more number of features, what will happen in the sense? Overfitting will happen. Okay, overfitting will be the problem. Give me a second. Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Uh, yes, so these are all the number of features. If you take more and more number of features, if you take more and more number of features, what will happen in the sense? It will create an overfitting problem. Okay, how it will create an overfitting problem? If you take so many features for consideration, the overfitting will come. In order to avoid the overfitting, or in order to reduce the cost, time complexity, and space complexity, you can reduce or you can remove some insignificant dimensionalities or insignificant attributes or insignificant dimensionality. Say for example, here I'm thinking as from my point of view, I'm thinking cinematography, playtime, and sound engineering. These are all are less significant, and I'm removing this using future removing technique. So if I remove these things, say for example, in some kind of movie, ghost-based movie and all, sound engineering is take very important role, and the playtime is also taking very important role in some movie, and some movies get flop because of the more playtime, and the cinematography is very important for the movies kind, the periodic movies or the some movies like what to say, which is you know having significant things in picturization and all. Okay, so if you take these I am simply considering these three as insignificant, and I'm simply removing, in the sense the model is losing the benefit of these features. The model is losing the benefit of these features. Okay, so this is a drawback for our model. So how do you avoid this problem? You have to get the benefit of that dimension, or you have to get the benefit of that yeah, you have to get the benefit of that particular model's dimension, and also you have to reduce the dimension. How it's possible? The solution is principal component analysis. That's how principal component analysis works. Okay, so without compromising with the benefit benefit of a particular dimension, we are reducing the dimension. Okay, even though we are losing the benefit, but in a very limited level, or in low level only, acceptable level only, we are losing the benefits. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so here, if you think about this, what are all the classes here? Hit or flop is the class. Dependent variable and independent variable are we are having, right? So the dependent variable is hit or flop. Independent variable, these are all the independent variables: story, popularity, a factor, release date, marketing director, like this. Okay, so now if we have more dimension, it leads to overfitting. This is what we have discussed. So n number of factors, is it essential to consider all? Considering more variables may lead overfitting. This is the problem. So the next question is how to take all the variables I have collected and focus only few of them. And also here the question is choosing which one is insignificant and which one is significant itself create a problem. Okay, how do you say it is insignificant? In one case, one is insignificant. In another case, another one is insignificant. Say, for example, if we take the movie, one case story is important. In one case, cinematography is important. In one case, director is important. In one case, one movie, the actor is important. So, like that, more significant. I'm telling. So, likewise, taking decision itself very tough. Okay, for this, the solution is there. The solution is nothing but dimensionality reduction. So, two types of dimensionality reductions are there. One is future elimination, second one is future extraction. Okay, so the future elimination is so simple. Okay, future elimination is so simple. It is simply choosing any one feature by yourself. If you're thinking a particular feature is insignificant, so for example, if you think a particular feature is insignificant, you can remove that. Okay, so simply removing, the method is simple, but the drawback in this is we are losing the entire benefit of that particular dimension. That is also having influence. That is also having correlation with your target variable. So that is also having influence. So if you you know what to say, if you simply eliminate that, it means you know, you are losing the benefit of that particular variable. So this is the case. So this is the disadvantage of this elimination features. We have lost the entirely eliminated any benefit those were dropped variables would bring. Okay, so the alternative technique is feature extraction. Actually, principal component analysis is come under this particular feature only. Okay, got my point? So principal component analysis is come under feature extraction only. Feature extraction means here you have to listen carefully. You know, before getting into this definition, I would like to tell about this feature extraction. See here, say for example, consider 4 dimensions are there in your data. Okay, consider 4 dimensions are in your data. You need to reduce this 4 dimension into 2 dimension. Why you are reducing? In order to reduce the time complexity, space complexity, or you know, in order to reduce the data distribution space, you have to reduce the 4 dimension into 3 dimension. You have to reduce 4 dimension into 3 dimension. You have to do. Now just think about this particular scenario. So 4 dimensions are there. So in a future, if it is a future elimination, in the sense simply removing the fourth dimension or third dimension or any one dimension and having all the 3 dimensions. But here in PCA, what we are doing is we are forming principal components in new dimension. We are forming principal. I will tell what is principal component. We are forming principal component. Okay, we are forming principal component. How many principal component we are forming? In the sense, see, if you are having 4 dimension data, if you are having 4 dimension data, how many principal component you will get is, okay, so you will get 4 principal component. Okay, if you have 4 dimension data, you will get 4 principal component. So among these 4 principal component, what principal component is each and every principal component is having combination of these 4 dimensions. Okay, it is not like first principal component is belongs to first dimension, second principal component is belongs to second dimension. Even the first principal component is having the details and features of all 4 dimensions. It is some value which is having the features of all 4 dimensions. The second also having features of all 4 dimensions. Third also having features of all 4 dimensions. Fourth is also having all 4 dimensions. But yet here is the principal component one is highly, the principal component one is highly significant. Principal component 2 is less significant than when compared to the first principal component. Principal component 3 is less significant when compared to 2. Then principal component 4 is again less significant when compared to third principal component. So you can say fourth is less significant when compared to all these three, and you can remove 4. If you remove 4, you are not losing all the benefits of the existing dimension. Okay, you are not missing all the features of the existing dimension, but you are missing to minimum level, acceptable level. That is the advantage of principal component analysis. Anyhow, we are removing the dimensionality using principal component analysis. Okay, so this is the main idea of the principal component analysis. I hope Sanjay, Vaishwari, and Bansi and Bhumik are following. I think you understood, right? Okay, then come to this scenario. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is very important. We have to discuss. So, as an added benefit, each of the new variables after PCA are all independent one of another. Okay, another one big advantage of PCA is it is an added benefit of PCA. Once you have done PCA, the new variable which you are deriving based on the principal component, right? So that is all are independent one another. Say for example, what I'm trying to say is you are having n number of independent variable. You are having n number of independent variable. Say for example, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. So six independent variable we are having. Okay, six independent variable we are having. Y is a dependent variable. Y is a dependent variable. So six independent variable, one dependent variable we are having. Here all the independent variable are having correlation with this dependent variable. All independent variables should have the correlation with this dependent variable. Whether it may be a positive correlation or negative correlation, but it should have the correlation between independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, so but the thing here is there should not be any correlation among the independent variable. There should not be any correlation among the independent variable. The correlation should not exist between this x1 and x2 or x1 and x4 or any between any two entities of independent variable. Okay, so that correlation should not exist. Okay, this is the constraint here, that correlation should not exist. Clear? So this can be eradicated with principal component analysis. So principal component analysis is solving this problem. Okay, so this is the advantage which we are having. And here we have to consider this. So do you want to reduce the number of variable but aren't able to identify variable to complete? Why? So this slide says, when should I use PCA? When should I use PCA? Do you want to reduce the number of variables but aren't able to identify variable to completely remove from the consideration? That means you want to eradicate a particular dimension, but you should not leave the benefit of that particular variable, particular attribute. In that case, you can go with dimensionality reduction. Okay, you want to make three-dimensional data into two-dimensional data. Okay, you want to make three-dimensional data into two-dimensional data, but you don't want to lose any one attribute. You don't want to lose any one attribute's advantage. In that case, you have to go ahead with principal component analysis. So this is the advantage which you are having on principal component analysis. Okay. And then the next, do you want to ensure your variable are independent of on another? See this one we have discussed, right? Recently we have discussed. So independent variable x1 is x1 should be completely independent from x2, x3, x4, x5, and x6. And this also x2 should be completely independent from all other. In this case, you have to go ahead with principal component analysis. Then are you comfortable making your independent variable less interpretable in the sense, if you see the say for example you are having the independent variable like age, number of bhk, like that you are having, okay, age, then marks, like that you are having some independent variable. So if you look at the age, you can know, okay, it is age. So you can able to understand it is interpretable easily. But if you convert that into a new feature using principal component analysis, in the sense that you can't, that is less interpretable. You can't understand by looking at itself. Mathematically you can able to understand, but physically if you look at that, you can't understand. So you can say it as less independent, sorry, less interpretable. Okay, less interpretable. If you are agree to this, if you are ready to this, you can go ahead for PCA. You can go ahead with PCA. That is the important thing. Okay. So next is the dimensionality, dimension reduction, how the dimension is going to be reduced, and what are all the application of this and everything we are going to see. Okay. Say for example, in pattern recognition, a particular problem is dealing with many dimensions. So if you go ahead with all the dimension, you will get the overfitting problem. So in order to avoid the overfitting problem, what you are doing, you are reducing the dimension. Okay. So here I would like to explain this slide to you. Here you are getting a better and best example for dimensionality reduction. Or you can say this is a best example in order to explain dimensionality reduction in a in a fundamental way. I mean, in initial stages to understand the dimensionality reduction. This particular example is very useful. Consider this feature space. It is a two-dimensional space. I hope everyone know about that. It is a two-dimensional space. In this two-dimensional space, what are all the dimensions are there? Two dimensions are there. One is centimeter, another one is inches. Got my point? One dimension is centimeter, another one dimension is inches. So two dimensions are there. So a particular data object is represented with the help of centimeter as well as inches. Here, anyone is enough, right? You can represent through centimeter or through inches. Any one is enough. Why you are doing two dimensions? So you can convert, you can eradicate one dimension, and you can convert this into like this. It is having only one dimension, the data distribution. So what are all the advantage? It is space complexity, time complexity are the one. See, dimensional reduction offers several benefits, such as it compresses the data and thus reduces the storage space requirement and requires less computation, eliminates the redundant feature, improves the model performance. So finally, this is our objective. We can improve the model performance by reducing the dimension. We are avoiding overfitting, we are avoiding timer complexity, we are avoiding space complexity. Finally, we improve the quality of the model. Okay, so these are all the benefits. Now we have to discuss about the steps in principal component analysis, and we have to discuss about one problem associated with that. Then you can able to understand how it is solved mathematically. Then we will get into the practicals. Okay, give me a couple of minutes. I will get. Okay, so yeah, sorry for the delay. Yeah, so algorithm is like this PCA algorithm. So actually, PCA is highly important for your examination. So in examination also, you'll get this kind of problems, and it is important with respect to the practicals and interview. So you have to be very careful in this. Okay, just look at this principal component analysis. The steps involved in PC algorithm are as follows. Step one is get data, then compute the mean vector. Okay, get data, compute the mean vector, subtract mean from eigen, uh, subtract the mean from the given data, calculate the covariance matrix. So these are all the steps I will share this to you. This is a PCA algorithm. Okay, experiment uh, 10, this one, principal component analysis. Component analysis. Okay, so yeah, come to this. So this kind of problem you will get in the examination, and you know, yes, give me a minute. Yes. Okay. So this problem you will get in the examination. The say you may get the same problem, otherwise you may get different problem in the examination. So given data is like consider the two-dimensional patterns. Consider the two-dimensional pattern 2, comma 1, 3, comma 5, 4, comma 3, 5, comma 6, 6, comma 7, and 7, comma 8. Compute the principal component using PCA algorithm. Okay. So here, these are all the points. The step one is, we have to represent this in vectors, getting the given data. Step two is calculating the mean vector. That means, adding all these 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 6, and 1 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 divided by 6. So you will get mean vector here. So this is the mean vector. So after getting mean vector, what you need to do is you have to subtract mean vector from the given feature vector. This is the step 3. So mean vector 2, normal vector is 2 and 1. Mean vector is 4.5, comma 5. So you have to do this subtraction. Once you have done this subtraction, you will get these values. After that, you have to form a feature vector xi after subtracting. After subtracting with this answer, you have to form a new vector. Okay. Then based on this, what we need to do is we have to find the covariance matrix. So this is the important step. You have to find the covariance matrix. Formula is this. So based on that, M1 should be find that M1 is x1 minus mu into x1 minus mu power t. X1 minus mu is the one which we found here. Okay. So that one, and that's transpose, and if you do the multiplication, you will get this matrix 2 into 2 matrix. So finally, the covariance matrix is M1 plus M2 plus all M6 divided by 6. So you will get covariance matrix. Okay. So this is the way you have to get covariance matrix. Once you got the covariance matrix, 50% of the problem done. So what you need to do after covariance matrix is, after getting the covariance matrix, you have to find eigenvalue and eigenvector. You have to find eigenvector. In order to find eigenvector, you have to find eigenvalue. So by that we can able to analyze, and we can able to come up with principal components. So based on the principal component, we can reduce the dimensionality. Just look at this. Step 5 is calculate the eigenvalue and eigenvectors of covariance matrix. So you have, in order to find the eigenvalue and eigenvector, you have to use this formula m minus lambda equal to 0. That means, so m is nothing but the covariance matrix. Lambda is this one. This should be equal to 0. And if you do this operation, you will get this. If you solve this based on the equation, you will get this quadratic equation. And based on this quadratic equation, you can find lambda 1 and lambda 2. So this lambda 1 and lambda 2 are important for principal components. So it only decides this. Actually, here itself you can eradicate the lambda 2, because lambda 2 is very small. So you can remove lambda 2. Here itself we are reducing one dimension. We are taking only lambda 1 rather than lambda 2. So it is high significant one. It is less significant because of less value. Okay. So clearly second eigenvalue is very small. These two are eigenvalues actually. Lambda 1 and lambda 2. So you are taking only one eigenvalue, and you are ignoring this eigenvalue. Here only we are doing dimensional reduction. Okay. clearly second eigenvalue is very small compared to the first eigenvalue, so the second eigenvalue can be left out. Okay, so based on this eigenvalue you have to find the eigenvector. Based on this eigenvalue you have to find the eigenvector. Okay, so consider lambda. So otherwise another way also you can do, based on the lambda 1 you can find eigenvector 1, and based on lambda 2 you can find eigenvector 2, and according to that you can go. But the important thing is, here itself if you have eradicated one lambda or one eigenvalue, in the sense it is very simple for you, you can escape from many calculations. Okay. So here, in order to find the eigenvector, you have to go with this formula mx into lambda x. Lambda is the given value. X we have to find. X is the one. X is eigenvector. X we have to find. M is the covariance matrix that we are having. Okay. So just substitute this covariance matrix M, X equal to lambda into X. So this x1 and x2 you have to find. For that, see, we are having this equation. We have to form this equation from this 2.92 into x1 plus 3.62 into x2 equal to 8.22 into x1. Okay, these two equations you can get. Based on these two equations, you can find x1 and x2. Based on these two equations, you can find x1 and x2. Okay, clear? So based on these two equations, you can able to find x values. So this we have done in the multilinear regression itself. This we have done, okay, mathematically. So finally you will get an eigenvector x1 and x2, this. So this is very important one. So after this, now we got eigenvector. Okay, now we got eigenvector. This eigenvector is the principal component 1. Now we got the eigenvector. This is the principal component actually. Okay, so based on this principal component, how we are reducing the dimension, that is what we need to discuss. Based on this principal component, how we are reducing the dimension, that's what we need to discuss. Okay, see here, eigenvector is the given vector is there, and based on this the given data is this one. So this is two-dimensional data. This two-dimensional data should be reduced into single dimension data. Okay, this two-dimension data should be reduced into single dimension data. For that we are having answer here. See, P11, P12, P13, P14, P15, P16. These are all the principal component data, that is single dimension data after reducing the two dimension. Okay, so here P11 is principal component and its transpose. X is first value, mean of x, y is first value, mean of y. X first value minus mean of x, y is first value minus mean of y. So this is x's first value, this is y's first value. So this minus 2 minus mean of x, 1 minus mean of y. So mean already we have calculated. See here, mean vector is there, right? Mean vector, where is mean vector? See, 4.5 and 5 is the mean. So you have to do according to that. We have to calculate 3 minus 4.5, then 1 minus 5, then this calculation. Okay, this you have to done. You have to do this. After doing this, you have to find the value for all the p. Then after that you will get the value and you have to substitute that. That's all. you'll get single dimension data rather than two-dimensional data. Okay, so this is actually the concept behind um, principal component analysis. Okay, so in practicals we have to discuss about standardization, that we will discuss when we are discussing the practical. I would like to go ahead with practicals. I hope you are following. Can I get into the practicals? Yes, students. Can I start with the practicals? Yes or no? Not getting any response. Yes, Bhumik Vaishwari, Bansi Duru. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So here in our practical, what we are going to do is we are going to use principal component analysis for dimensionality reduction in order to do the data visualization. Say for example, if you have two-dimensional, you can visualize the data. If you have three-dimensional data also, you can visualize the data, because matplot libraries are available to visualize three-dimensional data. But if you have four-dimensional data, how do you visualize? How do you visualize? You can imagine, but you can't visualize. So if you want to visualize the four-dimensional data, you have to convert that four dimension into three dimension. So dimensionality reduction you have to apply, and you have to reduce four dimension into three dimension. Then only you can able to visualize. So the data visualization always giving you the better understanding about the data. So that's what we are going to do now. We are taking four-dimension data and reducing that four-dimension data into two-dimensional data, and we are going ahead with data visualization, and we are going to understand the data more clear way. So for that, the data which we are going to take is iris dataset. I hope you know about iris dataset, because the iris dataset, the one which we have used in the previous experiment also. We have used this iris dataset for the random forest classification also. So iris dataset, iris is a flower which is having the attributes like petal length, sepal length, petal width, sepal width. The types are the target variable is iris setsova, iris virginica, and the three what to say, three categories are there. Three types or three species are there with respect to iris. See, iris virginica is the another one. Okay, if you look at the thing, you can able to see. Okay, so that metadata already we have discussed. So three, based on the petal length, sepal length, petal width, sepal width, we are identifying the type of that flower in the iris category. Okay, so I think there is no explanation on the data set because you are familiar with the data set. It is a famous machine learning based data set. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are taking everything, all sepal and petal with in X. So X contains all these details, all this data, petal and petal width, sepal length and sepal width. So after that, what we are doing is we are having Y. Y is nothing but a target. Okay. So we are having Y. Y is nothing but a target. So target is nothing but iris XOY, iris versicolor, and um, iris virginica. So these three. Okay. We have splitted into X and Y. X is nothing but independent variable, y is nothing but dependent variable that we have done, and this is highly important. We are going to do standardization. We are going to apply standardization on x data or on the independent variable. Okay, see, after standardization we are getting the data like this. See, previously before standardization, we are having the data like this. The just see the value 5.1, 3.4, 5.1, 3.5, 1.4, 0.2, like that we are having. And here, how we are having minus 0.90, 1.03, like that. This is nothing but a standardization. I will tell after standardization, we are going to apply this dimensional reduction, PCA and everything. So I would like to tell why we are doing this standardization. Okay, I would like to tell you why we are doing this standardization. See, so the standardization is the process of making, mean zero. See, yeah, I would like to convey this to you. Okay, the standardization of is process of making any data into mean zero and standard deviation one data. Okay, so if you go with statistics, if you go based on the data distribution, every data is having its own mean and standard deviation, right? Say for example, you are having mean is 60 and standard deviation is 10. Mean is 60 and standard deviation is 10. Likewise, you are having various mean, various standard deviation. Okay, you are having various mean and various standard deviation. Every data distribution. So it is kind of normalization. It's normally not exactly normalization. It is nothing but standardization. So you're converting this data into zero mean and one standard deviation data. So meaning of the data or the property of the data never change, but your data gets standardized. How to do this? We have to use z-score formula in order to do this. So whenever you are having the data distribution, you are having mean in that distribution, and if you go right side, if the z-score is +1 in the sense, that means one standard deviation positively, Z score is 2 means 2 standard deviation positively. Z score is minus 1 means negatively 1 standard deviation, negatively 2 standard deviation. This is the meaning of Z score. That's why the formula is like x minus mu divided by standard deviation. So consider this data distribution. We are having mean as you are having mean 60 and standard deviation 10 data. Okay, so it means 60 here mean and 50 40 in normal distribution, 50 40 30 it is going here negatively, positively if it is going 60 70 80 90. This is the statistics of this data. So if you convert this into mu equal to 0, sigma equal to 1 in the sense, see what you need to do is, you have to use this formula, take this 60, take this 60, 60 minus 60 divided by 10. What this 60 is? 60 is mean, this 10 is standard deviation. And this 60 is this. So, 0. So, make it as 0. Okay, and take 50. 50 minus 60 minus 10. 50 minus 10 divided by, sorry, 50 minus 10 divided by 10. Minus 1. See, minus 1. So, here you have to put minus 1. Here if you do the calculation, you will get 1. See, so finally you will get like this, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 1, 2, 3. This is nothing but standard deviation. So 1 standard deviation, um, 0 mean data distribution we can get after this. So this operation we have done here. This operation we have done here. After this operation, we are getting data like this. Okay. After this operation, we are getting data like this. Okay. Clear? So this is the way of doing this. Now we are having data and we have done standardization. Now the data is in our hand. Now we are ready to do PCA, principal component analysis. So the PCA is available in where the PCA is available. PCA is available in our sklearn. See here, import PCA. We have to imported PCA from sklearn. So from sklearn you have to import PCA and you have to do. How do you do? The number of component is 2. So totally we are having 4 dimensions. We are reducing it into 2 dimensions. So a number of components equal to 2 that you have to mention, and you are executing the model, and you're giving the data to the model, because you have to give the 4 dimension to the model, then dimension will return 2-dimensional principal component to you. Okay, so finally we got principal component 1 and principal component 2. So this is the one which we got like this. Okay, we got here, right? Where? See, this one, P1, P2. Okay, this we got, right? This data. So this data is here. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now in your hand you are having 2-dimensional data. So with the help of this 2-dimensional data, you can do the data visualization. You can do the data visualization. See here how the data is distributed. You can see iris setsova, iris versicolor, iris virginica. You can see. Okay, and quality also you can check. So this is all about principal component analysis, dimensionality reduction. I would like to send this code to you in Telegram. Okay. So this is all about principal component analysis. Okay. Any doubt, students? Any of you are having any doubt? Up to this? Yes or no? Any doubt, Bhumik, Vaishwari, Bansi, Dhruv? Yes. Is it clear? If it is clear, I can take attendance and I can end this practical session. You can do things by you. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Any doubt, students? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, good. So now let me take attendance. So Bhumik, Makeshwari present, Vaishwari present, Devnish is there, Devnish is not there, Anjali not there, Kishan Singh not there, Bansi is present. Okay, Bansi present, Devanshu not there, Yash Pandey, Yash present, Nilay, Nilay is not here, Sanjay present, Dhruv, yeah,
Yes, sir.
Dhruv present. Nine, nine is absent. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, okay, students, I marked your attendance. See you guys. We will meet in next laboratory. Okay.